Commercial sake undergoes carbon filtration, heat pasteurization, and blending for uniformity. This intentionally strips biological activity for shelf stability. But skip those steps, and you get living sake. Active enzymes survive, creating a volatile, complex liquid packed with deep umami and a razor-sharp finish. In Shimane Prefecture, Ouroku Shuzo champions this exact method. Their flagship sake, Ouroku, is entirely built around protecting these delicate, unfiltered flavors. This has earned Ouroku its status as a ghost brand among connoisseurs. Its rarity is a direct consequence of its complexity. Maintaining the integrity of a biologically active product from the brewery to the glass requires a level of systemic control that few other producers can manage. Because the sake is full of living enzymes, the margin for error is zero. Room temperature exposure causes the liquid to rapidly mutate and spoil. So, how does a traditional artisanal brewery design a system strict enough to suspend a chaotic biological process in perfect stasis? To understand the system, we have to look at the ingredients they are protecting. The brewery was founded back in 1872. Several decades later, the fourth-generation head of the family, Yozo, decided the well water on the property simply wasn't good enough. He spent a massive chunk of his personal fortune to lay 2 kilometers of heavy piping straight to a new source in the mountains. That pipeline tapped into the Kogane-ido, or Golden Well. It provides rainwater from a century ago, naturally filtered through the Chigoko Mountains. It is completely free of iron and ammonia, but loaded with calcium and magnesium, the exact mineral profile required for optimal fermentation. For their rice, they work directly with a local farming group called Marukami no En. These farmers cultivate a premium strain of Yamadaka Nishiki rice specifically tailored to the rigorous demands of Ouroku's master brewer. Even the most flawless raw inputs are useless without a process that can preserve them. The brewery's true challenge lies in engineering a system that protects these materials through the entire cycle of fermentation. Today, the brewery is run by Jozai Ishihara, the 6th-generation president and master brewer. Before taking over the family business, Ishihara studied control engineering. He treats the 150-year-old brewery less like a traditional kitchen and more like a low-variance biological laboratory. His first rule is non-negotiable. Muroka, absolutely no carbon filtration, and nama, minimal to zero pasteurization. The sake must remain biologically alive. The second rule is a strict ban on blending. Instead of forcing a standardized flavor profile across the entire production line, Ishihara respects the subtle, natural variations that occur inside each individual fermentation tank. By applying an engineering mindset to a traditional craft, he establishes the boundaries needed for the unblended, natural character of the sake to safely develop. These strict rules create an immediate logistical problem. Once this unpasteurized, unblended liquid leaves the safety of the tank, it is highly fragile. To protect it from oxygen and temperature shifts, Ishihara implemented Bin-chozo. The sake is immediately locked into bottles and placed into sub-zero storage directly inside the brewery. But that strict temperature control doesn't stop at the brewery doors. Ouroku is only sold through an exclusive network of specialized retailers who are contractually bound to store the bottles at exactly -5 degrees Celsius. If a retailer's cooling system fails, or they cannot maintain that precise sub-zero microclimate, they are stripped of the right to carry the brand. It is a deliberate extension of the brewery's engineering. They actively control the physical environment of the product all the way into the consumer's hands. Running a system this rigid creates an obvious bottleneck. How do you scale an operation that refuses to compromise on a single degree of temperature? Between 2022 and 2024, the brewery executed a highly controlled expansion. They meticulously vetted new retail partners in Tokyo and Hiroshima, slowly growing their footprint while rigorously enforcing the -5 degree mandate. At the same time, they invested in the human machinery required to run the facility. In October 2024, Ouroku brought in a new class of kurabito, apprentice brewers, to inherit the small-scale manual techniques that automated machines simply cannot replicate. True sustainability for a brand like this means aggressively nurturing the human talent required to maintain their microscopic margins of error. Ouroku Shuzo ignores flashy marketing campaigns and rarely advertises external competition awards. The entire weight of their reputation rests entirely on the physical product. That reputation is secured by 3 strict pillars: a 2-kilometer pipeline to pristine water, a refusal to blend tanks, and a flawless sub-zero distribution network. When they release seasonal batches like the Cho Ouroku Namagenshu 2024, consumers are experiencing the exact unfiltered reality of that specific harvest. By treating an ancestral craft with the rigor of control engineering, they have mastered a highly specific skill: suspending biological life inside a bottle.